Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode here. Today I'm very excited for this topic because I'm going to be talking about some habits, specifically health habits to break up with in 2025. These are habits that aren't necessarily serving your goals and the support of your body that you need to give it in order to heal it and also get to your ultimate goal because I believe that every single person, they want to and they desire to feel good energetically, to be sleeping good, to have clear brain thoughts, like you don't have any brain fog, and to lose the weight and feel good in your clothes, look good in pictures, feel good how you look in pictures. Like, I believe every person has that desire, but it's a matter of whether or not you have the courage to do something about it. And I just want to remind you that if this is a desire of yours, you're the only person that can make that happen. Nobody else is going to come and save you. Nobody else is going to come change the habits for you. Nobody's going to make you eat healthier. Nobody's going to make you go to the gym and get exercise in or go outside for a walk. Nobody's going to make you go to bed earlier, making sure you're getting enough sleep or drinking enough water. Nobody can do that for you. Only you. And it starts with a decision that you want different and then committing to that decision. But as long as you feel like everything is against you and you feel like you can't do it and you tell yourself that you can't do it, then that is what it is. That is simply what it is. And until you decide and change that, it's what it's going to be. So our mind is very, very powerful. And what we tell ourselves, so it is. So if you tell yourself you're going to fail, or you're not going to feel good, or you're not going to sleep well, or you can't do it, it is so. And so I want you to know how powerful it is and how important it is for you to speak well to yourself, to speak good words to yourself. I do this with my clients all the time where I tell them, listen, we're going to have to reframe some thought process here, reframe what you're telling yourself on a daily basis. And you're going to rewire your brain into telling yourself good things and positive things. Now, I'm not talking about, this, cliche type of stuff where it's like, hey, oh yeah, I believe I'll lose 50 pounds and then that's it. And it just magically happens. That's not how it works, guys. You have to put the work in. Okay? So if it's a goal that you have and a desire that you have to put the work in. Now, you can have those desires and goals, but you have to commit to that. But today we're going to dive into what are some things that you need to break up with. So I want you to really ask yourself, and I want you to look at your day to day habits and ask yourself, what habits are serving me and what habits are not serving me and my goals. And you have to really dig deep because so many times in this life, we just go through life and we're not intentional. We're not thinking about, oh, is this habit that I have right here, is this supporting my goal? Is this making me feel good? Is this getting me closer to that goal? And it's like, hey, alarm goes off, you might hit snooze a few times, and then finally you get up, you get dressed, you go to work, you get your work done, you go back home, you do whatever you do in the evening, you go to bed. And when you get into a rhythm like that where you're not even thinking, it's like you're on cruise control. You're not thinking about anything that you're doing. And so I want you to do a deep dive into what are your habits doing for you? Because whatever you are doing on a day to day basis is either supporting your goals and getting you closer to your goals, or it's getting you farther away. And being stagnant also means that you're declining and it's taking you farther away from your goals because there's no such thing as progress in standing still. So you have to be intentional with that. Now, one of the first things that you might need to start doing, and that's a habit since the alarm clock already came up, maybe the first thing that you need to do is stop hitting the snooze button. and you get up when that alarm goes off. I listened to Mel Robbins, who is phenomenal in her teachings, and I was listening to her a while ago, and she was sharing this story how back in the day, she was going through a really hard time with depression and anxiety, and like things were like really, really difficult in her life. And she didn't know how she was going to keep going because she had so much on her shoulders. And one of the things that helped her in the morning, she just decided when that alarm goes off, instead of hitting snooze, what she's gonna do is she's gonna count down from five, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and as soon as she hit 1, she got up. And what that started doing is reprogramming her brain. So, anyways, she taught that to millions of people years ago. And it's amazing what happens when you use a tool like that. So, when you're in a rut, your brain's not in a good place. You're probably in burnout, you have depression and anxiety. And when you're in that state, it's really hard for you to make good decisions and get yourself out there. But there are tools and things that you have to have in place in order to help you. And one of the things that will help you is sometimes when you're hitting the alarm button over and over, it simply means you didn't go to bed soon enough. You probably Netflix too long, you scrolled on social media too long. Before you knew it, it was 2 hours past your bedtime. And now you only got a few hours of sleep. If you get dedicated to make sure you have a bedtime routine and you get yourself to bed at a time that will give you that 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body gets trained to not have to snooze in the morning. Unless you're someone that's like getting up at like 3 a.m. to go to work every morning, which I used to do that a long time ago, and I do not envy anybody that has to do that now. I did have to have an alarm then. But what's crazy is after so many years of doing that, my body kind of got used to it. Now, even today, like I don't have to wake up to an alarm, but I naturally wake up anywhere between 5 and 6 a.m. That's just, but I also go to bed in order to make myself have enough sleep, like between 7 and 8 hours of sleep. And so if I consistently do that, your body is supposed to run on a clock like that. You get tired around the same time at night, you go to bed, you go to sleep, and it's supposed to wake up around the same time every single morning. So, ditch the snoozing of the alarm, make sure you're getting to bed on time, and that brings consistency within your schedule. The next habit that you want to think about is perfectionism. 2025 is you don't thrive in perfectionism, and in 2025, you want to thrive. And if you want to get there, you have to let go of being perfect because nobody's perfect. And letting go of perfectionism frees you up to really see what you're already doing and what you can continue to do. When you're not perfect and you're making sure that you're not thriving on that, it allows you to have a lot more grace for yourself and show up consistently versus working on being perfect. Like, this is what I teach in my On Diet You program. There is no such thing as being perfect. We're going to work on building small habits week by week. That's why they're so successful. I have so many people that have, we're on week 6 of going through the 6-week program. And so many people are like, this is the best thing that I've ever done. And I'm learning so much because I tell people, like, this is what you should have learned in high school. This is what we should be teaching high school kids. And one of the moms was like, man, I have a high school kid. Like, we should make this into a curriculum. Maybe that's my next thing. But they're learning that they don't have to be perfect, but they do have to be consistent if they want to see results. The people that have the most results and the best results are the ones that show up each day consistently, making sure they're getting the steps in that we have in place for them. So consistency. Nobody's perfect, but they are consistent. The next thing that you want to think about is caffeine. No more over-caffeinating yourself and skipping meals. I hear this all the time. This is why you're tired. This is why you can't sleep. Oh, I'm never hungry for breakfast, but I do drink coffee and then I don't eat anything until noon or for at least 2 hours. Well, coffee is actually an appetite suppressant. It will suppress your appetite. You know what else it does? If you're drinking coffee, only coffee in the morning, and you don't eat any food, it also messes with your cortisol. It will also mess with your thyroid. So it creates this ripple effect of issues. Now, if you're going to drink coffee in the morning, I don't ever suggest drinking coffee black. Is much harsher on your cortisol, much harsher on your stomach and your thyroid. So, putting some really good fats in there. Like I use a grass fat half and half that I put in there. I put some honey in there. And when I do that, the caffeine doesn't affect me as much. You also shouldn't be drinking coffee or caffeine in general past 2 p.m. if you want to sleep well. Like I was in Sedona yesterday and I went to this really cool place for lunch, but it was early afternoon and I drank coffee. And at the end of it, the waiter comes out and she was so sweet and she like gave me another cup of coffee and she's like, "Here, I'm leaving. Here's another cup of coffee." So I sat there and enjoyed the amazing, gorgeous view and sipped on a little bit more coffee. But man, did that affect me last night. Like I couldn't go to sleep like I should have. I even took my normal magnesium and the things that I take to help calm down and go to sleep faster. And it took me a while and I realized that I drank coffee too late. So with drinking coffee past 2 p.m., not great. Now I know some people that drink coffee in the evening, they literally go to bed and sleep. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Are you human? Because that's not normal. Now, may be able to go to sleep, but for some people, even if you can go to sleep, it still affects the quality of sleep that they get. So you may not get as much REM sleep. You may not get as much restful sleep if you're drinking caffeine that late in the day. And who knows? Some people are just like anomalies. Genetically, their body's just made in a different way and it doesn't affect them. It just really, really depends. It's very rare though. But think about your caffeine habits. And the next thing that we want to ditch in 2025 is skipping meals. Skipping meals will cause blood sugar dysregulation. And when you skip a lot of meals and you go long periods of meals, especially if you're someone that has thyroid issues, hormone issues, you have trouble losing weight, if your energy is low, skipping meals is the last thing that you should do. Here's why. Blood sugar regulation happens when you consistently eat your meals and specifically protein. You want to be very conscious about making sure you're getting your protein in because protein, as you guys know, it really helps stabilize your blood sugars, keeps you satisfied longer, and has so many benefits. You should never be eating a meal that doesn't have good protein in it. Like 30 grams of protein is ideal in a meal. Skipping meals will crash your blood sugars. And then when you do eat, it'll raise them and then drop them again. You want consistency. Okay. So get your breakfast in, get your lunch in, and get your dinner in. And make sure you're getting your protein. So no more skipping meals. Skipping meals does not mean that you're going to lose weight or that your body is getting what it needs. If anything, your body is probably malnourished and not getting enough of the right things. It's very hard to get enough protein in a day if you're skipping meals. It's extremely hard. Like I know that because that used to be me. And if I have a really busy day, all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I can't even get close to my protein goal because I skipped lunch. So you want to be very aware of that. The next thing you want to break up with is the cell phone usage. The cell phone usage up next to your ear. You know, we're talking about like EMF stuff. Sleeping with your phone next to you is very bad. If you're going to have your phone next to you, the Wi-Fi needs to be off. And ideally, you have your phone on airplane mode if you don't need it for any kind of emergency or anything like that. But the reason for that is because the Wi-Fi and the EMF transmissions, they can really affect your sleep. Like a few years ago, there was a gal that I was working with, and she told me how I was like, listen, EMFs are real. They will disrupt your sleep and your hormones and a lot of things. So here's what we're going to do because she was having a lot of trouble sleeping. And I was like, we're going to take your phone out of the room. Nothing's plugged in your room. And we're going to see if your sleep improves. And it did. Her sleep improved dramatically. There was another lady that she had to sleep in her recliner, but her recliner was plugged in, which was transmitting stuff. So what she ended up doing was unplugging her recliner. She would go sleep in the recliner. And she said after she started unplugging her recliner, she started sleeping way better. Headphones. Bluetooth headphones, the only time I ever use them is if I go to the gym because I really don't want to deal with the wires. But that is the only time I use Bluetooth headphones. If I'm on the phone, majority of the time, instead of holding the phone next to my ear, I will have those old plug-in wire headphones. And that's how I talk on a phone. Or I have the phone on speaker. You can have phone on speaker or you can have it plugged in. And because you don't, it's amazing now with, especially with how big and how amazing and powerful cell phones are. The more powerful they are, the more energy of EMFs and cellular radiation they spit out. And so you just want to be aware of those things. Next thing that you want to break up with is toxic skin products. Toxic skin products, toxic laundry detergents, toxic cleaning products. Like those are all things you should be breaking up with if you want your body to thrive in 2025. What do I mean by this? Okay. Skin products, the stuff that we put on our skin, are some of the number one endocrine disruptors in the world because the skin is our largest outer organ. What we apply on it has to absorb in through our skin, go through our liver, go through our organs. It has to go through the detox pathway, the lymphatic system, all of those things. And in the toxic stuff that is in these products is horrendous. And there are studies that have been done, and men too, not just women. This is for men too. Men's skin products are so toxic that they are lowering testosterone levels in men. Like the testosterone levels in men are at an all-time low. Like it is crazy. And women too. Women, it's a little bit different. But then the other thing that happens is because of all the estrogen and things that are in the plastic containers, all of a sudden the men are having high estrogen levels due to all of these things that are going on. They're endocrine disruptors. If you're using Axe body wash, Axe shampoo, Dove, Irish Spring, whatever the popular body armor, whatever those brands are, it's all extremely toxic. There's a reason you're tired. There's a reason you can't lose weight. There's a reason you have skin issues. There's a reason you have dandruff. There's a reason for all of those things. Okay. And so the toxic things that are being put on the skin, the laundry detergent, oh man, so bad. You need to be using clean laundry detergent, cleaning products. You want to make sure you're using non-toxic cleaning products because that's also massively an endocrine disruptor. And you should throw away all your air freshening air plugins. Terrible for you. So bad for you. You don't need that. If you want something to smell good, like put some essential oils in a diffuser and run that. That's for the men. The women, same thing. Same thing. That's why I have my brand, Miss Commando, non-toxic beauty brand. We got beautiful, amazing goat milk soaps that are amazing for just health in general. They're very moisturizing. They don't dry out your skin. We have men's and we have women's. Okay. So we got you. We got you there. Okay. Very moisturizing, very clean, really good for sensitive skin, acne, eczema, rosacea, psoriasis. And our soap bars last anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. A soap bar. You put it in a little soap saver bag, it'll last even longer. Swap those things out. Okay. Then we have goat milk lotion. Honestly, the best lotion I've ever used. It's so good. Okay. It absorbs in really well. It doesn't leave a greasy residue. We use all paraben-free products, all no phthalates, no endocrine disrupting kind of ingredients, all clean ingredients. Our products have 10 or less ingredients in them, and you can read all of them. Then we have a shea butter that's made with 5 ingredients. And that one is amazing for dried heels, dry cracked hands. Some people use it full body. We have some in the men's section called Warrior Wax, and some men that use it on their beard as a beard balm, and they love it. Start swapping those things out. Go to misscommando.com. That's my company. And you can start swapping out your skin products. Very, very important if you want to support your overall health, your endocrine system, your energy, your sleep, your hormones, your thyroid. It's very important. When it comes to cleaning products, there's various different cleaning products that you can use. I personally love Dr. Bronner's because it's so versatile. So I've been using that one for a long time. I don't use any kind of bleach or anything like that because, well, first of all, it like burns my eyes. Laundry detergent, you want to make sure that you're using good laundry detergent. One that I really like is called Molly Suds. And then there's also one called Zoom, ZUM. And the reason I like that one is because they use essential oils to scent them and they smell really good. Those dryer sheets and fabric softeners, extremely toxic. Should not be using them. Here's the next thing that you should break up with: drinking tap water. Should never drink tap water, whether it's coming from a well or whether it's coming from city water. This stuff is extremely toxic. You got parasites, you got bacteria, you got all kinds of stuff that comes through this water. Your water should be filtered, and not all filters are equal. I've personally been using a countertop filter for, oh gosh, probably like 7, 8 years, and it's called Simpro. I get it off of Amazon and it's amazing. Water tastes good. Like, I don't want any other water. There's a company, Life, that you guys can check out too. And they have a shower head filter that I've attached now to my shower head. And that one is amazing because I can tell a difference in my skin and my hair since using that one. He also has an under the sink kind of filter for your water filter on your faucet. I don't have that one, but I do have the shower one. But I would trust his. I have on my socials, I have Life in my bio, and you get 15% off all your stuff. Lizzie Ens Wellness on Instagram, Lizzie H Wellness on TikTok, and on YouTube as well. But well water or tap water, it has to be filtered. What's the next thing that you should be breaking up with? Not speaking kindly to yourself. So many of us, we don't even realize how negative we speak to ourselves, the thoughts that are in our head, and how those thoughts shape how we treat ourselves and how we go about our day. And you are the first person that needs to be speaking nicely to yourself. If you're not, that's a problem. We got to change that. Because if you can't speak nicely to yourself, how do you expect anybody else to speak nicely to yourself? You got to have your own back. You got to speak up for yourself. And sometimes you got to speak up for yourself against yourself. Because the negative thoughts that are in your head, what you're telling yourself, you would never say out loud. So you need to start recognizing the thoughts that are in your head and how you're speaking to your body, especially women. So hard on ourselves, like pinpointing and picking out like all the things we don't like about our body and how it looks, and it's not healthy. Not healthy. Now, you can want change, if you're like, "Hey, I'm 50 pounds overweight, I want to change this." You don't have to love that part of you. What you do need to do is you need to love on yourself, and loving on yourself can mean, "Hey, I'm choosing and making a decision to get better and to feel better in my clothes and to lose the weight because you know that that's going to make you feel better." But you don't have to love the fact that you're 50 pounds overweight, but you're there. And so now it's time to, if it's what you want, it's time for you to commit to the steps that it's going to take in order for you to get out of that, because you already know you don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to be in that position. And so what are you going to do about it? And it's like I said very early on, nobody else can do it for you. Sometimes we need some guidance. Okay. Sometimes we need some coaching, some counseling, some help in that. And there is no shame in that. You don't have to figure it out yourself. That's why I do what I do. And if you are someone that is in that place where you're like, "Man, like, I really want change. I do need to change. I need to figure out what to do, but I don't know what to do." I got you. That's why I have a coaching program. That's why I help people. I help both men and women. And I take you through the step by step process and putting the action steps in place in order for you to move forward and to see the results that you want to see. And if you're in my 101 or my small group coaching program, we get your lab work done. So we're going to get your lab work done in the beginning, and then we get your lab work done towards the end as well, so that we can see what improvements have been made. But that's my specialty. That's what I do. And so I want to reiterate this, that you don't have to figure it out all out by yourself. Like, I have coaches too. And the reason that I have coaches is because it makes me better. It allows me to have someone there that I can check in with, and they can give me guidance on what I need to do in order to become better. And there, sometimes I feel like people feel like we should be good enough without coaches. I know I've been there before where I'm like, well, why do I need a coach? I should be good enough without. It's not about that. It's about 10xing your progress faster. It's about getting there faster and more efficiently versus spinning the wheel. So it's like the same ideas. If you're just on social media and on the internet, you're searching like, how do you do this? I think I have this, but I don't know if I do. Like, I've self-diagnosed myself, but I don't actually really know if that's what it is. You can do more damage than good that way. And all of a sudden, you're a year later and you're like, man, I didn't get anything done last year because I was spending all this money on supplements, all these different things, but I didn't even know if I needed it. You're just spinning your wheels. And when you work with someone that runs blood work, looks into, hey, what does your day to day diet look like? What do we need to improve? What do you need to start doing? You get your exercise in, your sleep, your water, all of those things. You just propelled your success forward so much faster because you are no longer guessing. I can't tell how many people come to me and they're like, yeah, like I know all this stuff, but like nothing's working. And I have all these supplements and I think this is what's going on, but I really don't know. So they're just in information overload and paralyzed because they don't know what to do. And I call it throwing darts at your health. Like, I'm going to take this supplement. Let's hope it lands and works for me. I'm going to try this diet. Let's hope it lands and it works for me. I'm going to do this. Let's hope it lands and it works for me. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. And what blood work does is it gives you the data that you don't have, and then it allows us to make that plan so much more efficiently. And I can't tell you, literally, like every single person, we get that blood work in, we look at their diet, we get them on the right vitamins and minerals because everybody is vitamin and mineral deficient. With the way that our food is these days, it is impossible to get vitamins and minerals that you need through food alone. So with that being said, everybody starts feeling better so much faster once we get them on that. And that is because we have data. So I want you to think back to all the things that I've talked about and share with you and things to break up with in 2025. And these are all things that are really, really important if you want to thrive, if you want your body to heal. The one last thing that I want to share with you is, you know, ignoring your liver health and your gallbladder health and not giving your body the detox that it needs. I've done an episode on detoxing a few weeks ago, and if you listen to that, go back and listen to that. Why your body's begging for a detox and how to support it during that detoxing phase. Because, like for your liver example, they're like, high school biology told me that you don't ever have to take any kind of detox for your liver. Well, if that were the case, then why do we have fatty liver disease? It's not a matter of the liver not being able to detox. It's a matter of the fact is that it's overloaded with skin products. Overloaded with skin products, overloaded with bad food choices, overloaded with processed foods, seed oils, alcohol, sugar. It's overloaded. And so once it's overloaded, the function of it goes down and you have inflammation and it's constantly in overdrive trying to catch up, but it can't because it just keeps coming in single day. So don't ignore your organs. Don't ignore the symptoms that your body is giving you. If you're tired, if you have skin issues, if you can't sleep, If you have anxiety, depression, bloating, headaches, migraines, irregular periods, all of those things are your body giving you signals. And those signals are the things that are important for us to pay attention to and find out, what does our body need? Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning into the Lizzie Ens Show. If you're ready to take the next step to transforming your health and life, visit www.undietyou.com for all my resources and to book your consultation today. Don't forget to subscribe and join me each week for more tips, inspiration, and conversations with phenomenal guests to help you feel your best. See you guys next week.